everybody, welcome to another video. My name is Infiniti and today I am here with another pattern tutorial. A few weeks ago in a channel chat I touched on picking up my reading hobby again, and I've been enjoying it and all its wonderful booky goodness. And you know what, somewhere along the way I decided that I needed a custom bookmark because all of my old bookmarks were not good enough. So I set out and I crocheted one, and I absolutely love it. It's gone through several books, and I just wanted to share this pattern with you guys. If you're interested in the reading pattern, it is available on my blog for free, so you can head on over there and check that out. I'll leave the link to it down in my comment section in the top. The pinned comment. There we go. Alright, without further ado, I'm going to jump into this tutorial. So as with many of my patterns, I've incorporated cables in this. Just because I think it adds to the aesthetic. But anyway, for this pattern I use very thin yarn. You can either use a lace weight yarn. Here I have some leftover Kobu yarn by Lion Brand, and a 3.5mm crochet hook. So that's what I'm going to use. Alright, and we are going to start off with a slip knot. Like that, and we are going to chain 2, 1, 2, and we are going to double crochet 2 into the first chain. So I'm going to yarn over and insert my hook. One, yarn over and make the second one. Alright, now what I'm going to do is chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, turn my work. I am now going to double crochet into the base of this chain 3. Directly into that. And then I'm going to double crochet 1 into the next stitch. And then I'm going to come over right here to the side, just like the top of the chain 2 from the previous row. And I'm going to work 2 double crochets into that. It almost doesn't look like a stitch, but I promise it is. There's 1, and there is 2. Alright. So now we should have 5 stitches in row 2. It looks like a little triangle. Alright, now on to row 3. We're going to chain up 3, turn our work. Alright, and we are going to double crochet into the base of the chain 3. Alright, and we are going to make 1 double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. So there's 1, 2, and there's 3. Alright, and in this last stitch, which is the chain 3 from the previous row, we are going to make 2 double crochets. And there's row 3. For row 4, we are going to chain 2. I'm going to turn our work. We're not going to work into that first stitch or the base of the chain 2. We are instead going to double crochet into each of the 6 stitches, remaining stitches of the row. There's one. So the chain 2 does count as a stitch. 3. And 4. 5. So you should have 7 stitches across total, our growing little triangle here. For row 5, we are going to chain up 3. Turn our work. Alright, and we are going to now work into the base of that chain 3 with a double crochet. Alright, and now we are going to double crochet into each of the next 6 stitches. So just 1, 2, the one thing about thin yarn is that there's always a tangle somewhere. There we go. Okay then. Alright, and at the end of the row, we're just going to place 1 double crochet into the top of the chain 3 from the previous row. You should have 8 stitches across, and this is what our triangle looks like now. Alright, row 6 is where the fun comes in. So we are going to chain up 3. 1, 2, 3. We are going to skip 3 stitches. So we're not going to work in any of these 3. And we're going to ignore the stitch that our chain 3 is coming out of. And what we're going to do is we are going to yarn over, and we are going to create a front post treble crochet. Oops. So what we're going to do is we're going to yarn over twice. We're going to create a front post treble crochet and around that 4th stitch. Yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through those last 2. Alright, I'm going to do that again around the next stitch. So yarn over twice, create a front post treble crochet, and we're going to do one last front post treble crochet around the next stitch. Alright, and this is what it looks like so far. Now we're going to yarn over twice, and we're going to reach all the way back here to the 2nd stitch from the previous row, and we are going to create a back post treble crochet around that. So I've yarned over twice. I'm going to go back behind this stitch through one side, out the other side, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Alright? And I'm going to do that around the next 2 stitches as well. So there's another back post treble crochet. And one more. Alright, and now we are going to yarn over, and we are going to double crochet into the top of that chain 3 from the previous row. And this is the beginning of our cable. For row 7, we're going to chain up 2, turn our work, and we are going to double crochet into the base of that chain 2. Now we are going to make one back post double crochet across each of the next 6 stitches. So the stitches that make up our cable. We're just going to yarn over, insert our hook from the back, bring it through the other side, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. I'm going to do that again. Alright, there's 3. Now I like to put my finger between my stitches here so I can find those front 3 stitches easier when I'm working. And I'm just going to work back post double crochet across those last 3 trebles. Alright, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 2 double crochet in the top of this chain 3 from the previous row. Alright, and that is the end of row 7. So now I'm on to row 8. So we're going to chain 3, turn our work. Alright, and this is what we have so far. And what we're going to do is we're going to double crochet into the next stitch. We're not going to work into the base of this chain 3. We're working into the next stitch with a double crochet. Alright, and then we are going to start cabling again. So we're going to skip these next 3 stitches. Going to yarn over twice, and we are going to front post treble around that 4th stitch of the row. I'm going to do it again. And one more time. Alright, and now we're going to go back and we're going to work around those 3 stitches that we skipped with some back post treble crochets. Going to yarn over twice and go back around that 1st stitch. It's going to be kind of awkward to show on camera. Alright, gonna do it around the next one. And we're going to work the last back post treble crochet. Alright, and there's our twist. So now what we're going to do to finish the row is that we're going to double crochet in each of the last 2 stitches of the row, no increases. So basically what you do to one side of this pattern you do to the other, which makes it pretty easy. Let's see. Alright, and that is the end of row 8. Row 9. Alright, so for row 9 we are going to chain 2. Turn our work. Alright, and we are going to double crochet into the next stitch, so not where the chain is coming out, but this very next one. Oops. Alright, now we're going to make 6 back post double crochets, 1 across each of our trebles. So I'm gonna go ahead and yarn over, work that first back post double crochet, then that second one, Alright, and now I am going to double crochet into this next double crochet. And I'm going to place 1 double crochet into the top of that chain 3 from the previous row. Alright, and that is row 9. So for rows 10 through 20, we're going to be repeating rows 8 and 9. So for row 8, we chained up 3. Turn our work. Going to be yarning over into that double crochet from the previous row. And then we're going to start back with our treble crochets, our front and back post treble crochets, to create the next leg of our cable here. Okay, I'm going to go back and work those back post trebles now. Alright, and then we're going to finish this row with a double crochet in each of the last 2 stitches. And then to repeat row 9, we're going to chain up 2, turn our work, and we are going to double crochet into the next stitch. We're now going to make 6 back post double crochets across these trebles. Alright, and now we're going to end the row with a double crochet in the last double crochet and a double crochet into the top of that chain 3 from the previous row. Alright, and like I said, you're going to repeat rows 8 and 9 until you achieve the desired length of your bookmark. In the pattern, I ultimately ended up with 25 rows. Yeah, 25 rows. So I'm going to continue to work up the length of my bookmark. Usually at this point I also like to have stitch markers so that I can easily keep track of my rows. Just kind of pop one here on the side so I remember where I'm at. So I think I just finished row, let's see, that was 10, it's for row 11. Alright, And then that way I don't have to go all the way back from the beginning, and then sometimes with cable rows it can be a little weird trying to count it. But anyway, I'll meet you guys back when I reach row 21. We're back. Alright, so now I am ready to start row 21, and row 21 is going to be a repeat of row 9. So I just chained my 2, I made a double crochet in that first stitch, and now I'm going to make a back post double crochet around each of the next 6 stitches. Alright, and now I'm going to make a double crochet into the next stitch, and I'm going to end the row with a double crochet on top of the chain 3 from the previous row. Alright, for row 22, we are going to chain up 3, turn our work, and we are going to then make a decrease across the next 2 stitches. So not the stitch where our chain 3 is coming out of, but the next 2. So we're going to yarn over, and we are going to double crochet 2 together. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop. Don't complete that stitch. We're going to yarn over, insert our hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 stitches on our hook. Alright, and now we are going to place a double crochet into each of the remaining stitches of this row. Six and 7. Alright, so essentially what we're doing here, zoom out again, what we're doing here is we are starting to form another tip like where we started at the beginning of this pattern. Alright, so for row 23, we are going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and turn our work. And we are going to make another decrease across the next 2 stitches. So again, not the one that we just made our chain 3 from, but the next 2. Going to yarn over, insert our hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. We're not going to complete that double crochet, but we are going to instead yarn over and work into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. We have 3 loops on our hook, and we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3. We double crochet 2 together. Then we are going to double crochet into the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. Alright, and now we are going to make another decrease across the next 2 stitches. So we're going to yarn over again, insert our hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Not going to complete it. We're going to yarn over, insert our hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through all 3 stitches on our hook. And then we're going to simply double crochet 1 into the top of that chain 3 from the previous row. Just like that. Alright, for row 24 we are going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Turn our work. And we are going to decrease again, so not the stitch we just worked out of, but across the next 2 stitches we are going to double crochet 2 together. Alright, and then we are going to double crochet into the next 2 stitches. Alright, and then we are going to double crochet 2 together across the last 2 stitches, which is an actual stitch and the chain 3 from the previous row. Alright, and this is pulling together our bookmark quite nicely here. You can kind of see it taking that triangular shape again. Alright, for row 25, we are going to chain 3. And turn our work. And we are going to decrease across the next 2 stitches. Oops. Alright, and we are going to double crochet 1 in the last 2 stitches, which is an actual stitch and the chain 3 from the previous row. Alright, for row 26, we are going to chain up 3. And we are going to turn our work. And we are going to decrease across the next 2 stitches. And then we are going to double crochet into the top of the chain 3 from the previous row. Alright, and now we are going to, for row 27, we are going to chain up 3. 1, 2, if it wants to cooperate, 3, and turn our work. And we are going to simply decrease in the 2 stitches that exist here. So an actual stitch and then the chain 3 from the previous row. Right. Alright, and then we chain 1 and we pull up our string and we bind off. So this is what it looks like at this point. In my other one, I of course blocked it before I used it, and I also added a tassel onto it, which is completely optional. I just thought it was something extra. It was also something, you know, kind of weigh it down so I could find it easier, you know. So if you have enough leftover yarn, you can set our bookmark to the side. We can use our leftover yarn, which I have plenty, And all you're going to do is wrap the yarn over your hand like this. And sometimes I'll put the tail between my pinky and my ring finger so that I can just wrap my working yarn around my hand a bunch of times. It doesn't have to be a super huge tassel for my purposes. I'm just kind of wiggling my fingers to make sure I don't make a vise around them as I wrap my yarn. Like I said, the tassel doesn't have to be super huge, so you just wrap until you have enough yarn, or you feel that you have enough yarn for the tassel. And I'm going to do one more. And then you just snip the yarn like that. I'm going to take this off my hand. Usually I cut my strings first when I make tassels, but I didn't do that today. And I'm going to cut a decent length of yarn, maybe 8 inches for this little thing. And I'm going to lay it out and place my little wrapped yarn here. And I'm just going to tie my yarn, kind of pull it one way. I'm going to tie my yarn around the bundle. Just like that. And I'm tying it nice and tight, and then I'm going to knot it just to be sure. Alright, and then I'm going to start wrapping the tails of this yarn that I just tied around my bundle. Just going to tie it up nice and tight. Wrap it up nice and tight, rather. Because I'm actually going to use the tail end of the bookmark to attach this guy to our finished object. I'm going to use my crochet hook to come underneath these wrappings. And I'm going to yarn over that little tail, and I'm going to pull it underneath there. Just like that. Alright. That's on there good and tight. So now I can just go about snipping these loops to make the fringe part of the tassel. I should have grabbed my other scissors. I think I will. There we go. Just kind of combing through there, making sure that I snipped all the loops, which it looks like I did. Now you can kind of trim this to make these even. Alright, and this is what our tassel looks like. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my bookmark, and actually my tail from the beginning here, it's a little shorter than the one down here, but I don't really think that matters. So I'm going to go ahead and use this end, and I'm going to make a little slip knot just for simplicity's sake. Just like that. And now what I'm going to do is take my tassel, and I'm going to work my crochet hook into that top part where I want to attach this string. And come out the other side. And I'm going to take this slip knot I just made and loop it around my hook. I'm going to pull it tight so that I don't lose it. And I'm going to just slowly pull it through the tassel like this. Okay. And now that I've done that, I can just pull out the slip knot. And this is the point where I sew in my end. So I'm just gonna thread my needle here. Just like that. And I'm going to bring my needle through the very tip of this so that it's kind of centered. Like that. Then I'm going to weave through again. And I'm going to go ahead and loop this so that I have a little knot here. Alright. And now that I've done that, I can just go ahead and weave in this tail. I like to weave in my ends on the back of my work. It just looks better, in my opinion. Kind of thread it through some of the yarn, plying it apart a little bit. Alright. And now I can just snip that end. And now I have another bookmark because honestly I love my gray one and I use it in almost all of my books, but if I start another book while I'm reading, then I have to resort to some of my other bookmarks, and that's no fun. So now it has a duplicate and I'm super excited, so I'm going to go ahead and get this purple one on the blocking mats. I hope you guys enjoyed today's project tutorial. If so, don't forget to leave this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell because I occasionally do post project tutorials. Usually I post crochet type tutorials on Sundays at 9:30 a.m. CST. Head over to my blog and find the free written pattern there. You can also find the PDF in my shop if you want to support the channel. Totally not necessary, but always appreciated. You can check me out over on Instagram and Pinterest. I'm also on Facebook. I'll leave the link to that down in the description box below. And until next time, guys, happy making.